Well, thank you guys so much with the Barton family, or most of the Barton family. Alexis is here, Sonia's here. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
And how are we going to talk into our microphones? Right up like this. It's good to see you guys.
You too.
And niece Emma is here. Hi, Emma. I'm glad you came along. So, Sonia,
Yes.
we have quite a story with Alexis to tell. Are you comfortable? Can
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
start at the
No.
beginning?
October 23rd, 2010, Alexis was having some knee pains and
Some knee.
knee pains. And, well, they started and then they kind of traveled. Went to see her orthopedic doctor and they did some labs. We were called. I took her back to school. 5 minutes later, they called and said, "You need to get her back to her doctor now."
What was going through your head?
A lot. I mean, you, you never would have thought what was coming was coming. We go back, and her pediatrician said her labs were abnormal. She had no white count. Her platelets were almost diminished, and her red blood count was really low. It was one of three things: a virus, leukemia, or something called ITP. And they told us to pack a bag and shipped us to Rochester. We went to Rochester. They drew some labs, and they confirmed 24 hours later she had leukemia.
What happened to just to you in general when you heard the word leukemia?
Oh, I think me and my husband broke down.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm sorry to do
no,
this to
you're
you.
fine.
It's
You're
a
fine.
tough story to tell. All right, so now you've heard that. You're in Rochester.
Yeah. And the next 3 years, 3.5 or so, we were there pretty much permanently. She had a lot of treatments, a lot of complications, stopping treatments because of complications and whatnot.
So both of you, husband and wife, are in Rochester.
Yeah,
What's
my
happening
husband's-
back at home?
my
What
husband's
about
having
jobs? What's going on?
Well, my husband is self-employed, so he would travel back and forth every day to
Okay.
Rochester, and I would just stay there.
Okay.
And he'd come home, check on the house, make sure it was still standing, and he'd
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah, because normal life has to happen too.
Yeah.
How long were you in Rochester at that point?
Oh, the first time,
Quite a while.
yeah. I think it was only minimal that we were home. We would come home for maybe a week or two at the beginning. We spent a lot of Christmases, a lot of Halloweens, a lot of holidays in general in the hospital.
With the treatments going on.
Yeah.
And what was
Treatments
what
or
was
some infection or
okay.
some complications.
Okay. So what's next on the horizon? What happened after that?
We finished after about 3.5 years. She was considered done with chemotherapy. We were in remission. Things were well. 9 months she was done, but during that 9 months she was always sick. There was something wrong.
You knew as a mom something else was wrong.
Something was wrong.
Okay.
9 months later she was diagnosed with a relapse of her ALL.
So the leukemia came back?
Yes, in her spinal cord. So it was central CNS involved.
Okay.
And found out the day after that she needed a bone marrow transplant. So
When you heard the word bone marrow transplant, and this is your little girl, I know. Okay, you received that news.
Yep.
All right. Did you put one foot in front of the other? Is that what happened?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
But this kid, she's one tough kid.
She's a trooper.
We had a cord blood transplant July 16th, 2014 in University of Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital. So we transferred there halfway through her relapse treatment
Okay.
because Rochester wasn't sure what else they could do
Okay.
for her. She had lost her ability to walk, her feeling from her waist down, and they wanted her to be 50% mobile before they would do transplant.
I'm going to ask Alexis a question now. Is that okay? Alexis, tell me about your wheelchair. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Tell me about your wheelchair.
It,
Would you
Yeah.
like to get out of your wheelchair?
yeah.
Are you taking physical therapy? Have you been in the past?
Yeah, I do it at school right now.
You do physical therapy at school? Does it hurt?
Mm, my legs sometimes, but
Do you have braces on your legs now? Does it
Yep.
make you tired? Do you get tired with doing physical therapy?
yeah.
Okay. You're in ninth grade?
Mhm.
Are you in ninth grade at
Yep.
Holman? Okay. Sometimes do you wish you could just run around like everybody else and
Yeah.
okay. All right. I know you have a favorite school bus driver. Is it John, the school bus driver,
Yep.
that you like? He takes good care of you and gets you to school back. What's next?
We hopefully just continue to get better. She's going through some medical issues with her kidneys.
What's going on with the kidneys?
From the chemotherapy and radiation damage, she's considered to be in stage 3 to 4 kidney failure.
Okay.
The summer before last, we were in Madison Hospital all summer for her kidneys. And at that point, they had tried every treatment for the kidney disease. They had tried, she had a dialysis catheter placed. It infected twice. We had to pull that back out. They tried a treatment called plasmapheresis, where they're basically taking all of her plasma out of her body and replacing it with donor at the same time. Did 7 treatments of that, and nothing helped the kidneys. So, but she had to be 2 years post bone marrow transplant in order to be eligible for a kidney or any other transplant, so a kidney transplant. But about a year after the kidneys started failing, they kind of stabilized out, and she's been stable since, and we're hoping it stays that way. Her kidney doctor said that her hopes that she is no longer under her care and she's well into her adult life before she needs her kidney transplant.
Okay. Okay. Alexis, how do you feel when we spend all this time talking about your health? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a pretty strong girl, aren't you?
Yep.
I think what we'll do is right now we're going to ask people to call in with a donation. Can you turn around and read the phone number for me? Do you see that? Can you see it? The 781? Can you? Oh, it's right there. Can you read that one?
781-1477.
And will you ask people to please call in a pledge?
Can you please call in a pledge?
That would be great
That would
because
be
there's a
great.
lot of families that need help. Can you tell me about the help that you received from Children's Miracle Network hospitals?
Considering most all of our treatments are in Minneapolis, at least a couple times a month, they've helped us with gas and different lodging and things that when we have to travel.
How many miles do you think you put on your car?
Oh boy,
Yeah.
lots.
Yeah, when you
Lots.
can't even come close to even remembering how many trips that you guys have taken.
Oh no.
You know, what happens is when families need help, it's hard to ask for it
Yeah.
or hard to receive it. Had you heard of Children's Miracle Network hospitals?
I've heard of it, not a whole lot to do with it until we got back home.
And now you know.
Yes, and they've been. I don't know what we would have done without them.
You don't know what you would have done without them.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good response because you know what? It's a safety net. It's a safety net for families. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. None of us do.
No, you don't.
And isn't it amazing how they follow along with you? I
Yeah.
bet they knew where you guys were.
Oh yeah.
And I bet they knew what you were doing for your treatments and when you be back because that's just what they're all about. 781-1477. You know, I was thinking, you know what? It's Saturday afternoon. Why don't we shoot for like 10 pledges while we're talking? Well, we're going to have to throw that out the window because apparently we already have 14. We're way over. Isn't that amazing?
That's
So every
awesome.
time you hear that funny ring of the phones, because sometimes, it startles you. It's like, what is that? That is somebody calling in from the generosity of their heart, wanting to put their money where their miracles are. Because you, my little girl, are a miracle. And for you guys to be able to tell this story, telling your life story and putting Mom through it again, it's not easy. It is not easy because you have a lot of people that love you. You have a lot of people that support you. But if you guys don't tell us what happens in your house and what's been going on, there's no way that we'd be able to share these stories.
Yep.
It's strength, it's endurance, and you're going to be up and running around. Things are good. Look at that smile. You have a very infectious smile. So trick-or-treating is on the horizon. We got Halloween coming up on Monday. Are you going to go trick-or-treating?
Probably her last time.
Yeah.
Yeah? This is going to be it for trick-or-treating?
Yeah. and
Okay.
She wants to start handing in the candy out
Now you're going to start handing out the candy.
next year.
Okay, next year. So you have one more year to pick out a costume. Have you given that any thought?
No, we're probably going to go after this and look.
You're going to go shopping after this? Oh, we better wrap this up so you can get going. We had one of our little friends come in the last couple days, and she's going as a cupcake, and Dad's going as a donut. Isn't that great? I just think that's perfect. I think that's really good. Okay, so we're going to keep the phone lines going. We're going to let you guys go shopping. I can't tell you how nice it was to see you and spend some time with you. I'm glad you got to have a little lunch. You want to add anything before we go?
No, I just thank you.
Well, you're welcome. We're all in it together.
Yep.
There's a lot of people to thank, and I'm sorry that the tears came. But you know what? That's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is real. This is life. All right, you three. Go pump up the economy, okay? All right. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Radio Group.